Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. Have you ever wondered how humor and nostalgia can build a legacy? Well, today's your lucky day because you're going to find out just like us. Get ready to wake up the Giants. Yeah. Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris, co creator of Wake Up with Giants TV, a tribe of giants and 12 journeys coaching. And contributed in a book called A Journey of Riches. It's all about kindness. You can find it on Amazon. And I'm here with Mr. Nicholas T. Smith, the author of The Giants and the Smalls and Tortoise's Hair and a whole bunch of other things that are still up here in his noggin. He's got a million things, always releasing amazing content, and he's the
Can't
whole
help it.
reason. Yeah, it's just
It's my addiction.
it is, and it's so good. I'm so glad that it is his addiction because it's changed my entire life. In fact, I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Nick and following the promptings that he had to write that book. And so grateful that he did. And so we're super excited. We just finished our SG program, and that's a cohort that we have that we've created, where we teach people about their giant potential and help remind them about who they are and empower them, give them tools. Wherever they are on their journey, they can go back and look and see where they can grow and where they can stretch and do their inner work. Nick, do you have some thoughts around SG?
Always have thoughts,
I
man.
figured you did. I mean,
Always,
that's kind of a
always
trap.
with my hands on the trigger, ready to share my thoughts around it. So this morning I had a coaching conversation. Well, a conversation with a coach who's looking at partnering with us. So we run a partner program as well. So if you are a coach and you're looking for a platform to offer as a value add to your services, the 12 Journeys is phenomenal because we have all the tools and resources put together, plus a framework that enhances what you're doing. And so the 12 Journeys as an operating system allows people to take your coaching and actually use it. So that there's nothing worse than talking to somebody that can't even comprehend or use what you're teaching them. And so that's where we come in. So I wanted to just share what we do for our partner coaches. In addition to the training tools that they need to go in and teach the 12 journeys, we put together all their guides so that they can go in and teach each of the 12 journeys. We put all their resources together in one place. Some of the tools that I think are most incredible are our LM models, which are AI-based training modules for our coaches that teach them how to be better coaches using AI. And so we've stacked these full of content that is some of the best in the industry right now to teach our coaches how to be even better coaches. Now, there's podcasts built into this. You can interact with the podcasts in real time. And so you can talk to the podcast hosts. They're AI-based podcast hosts. And you can ask them any question. They'll pause, answer your question, then go back to the show as soon as they're done, which is really incredible. We've also developed a bunch of resources for our coaches to help them teach the 12 journeys in the way that we would. So we've got all our videos in here, the AI applications with our coach trainers, our proposal generators, question askers. These are things that our regular SG members don't have access to. They're only for our partner coaches. And our goal is to create more to help them really grow and thrive in their coaching business. And so if you're a coach and you're looking for a platform to enhance what you're currently doing, the 12 Journeys program is probably the best thing you're going to find in the industry right now. There's really nothing like it. So how's that for
Ta-da!
a sales pitch? Right?
I think I didn't even think it was pitchy. I think it was
Yeah.
really great.
You want to sign up, Ryan? Let's do
Yes,
it. Yeah.
I've already done it.
It's already in my cart.
Yes. I just
So
have
no,
to
if
find
you
my
want
wallet.
information, you can DM us. And truthfully, the best way to do this is to just have a one-on-one conversation with me or Ryan and let us serve you in that conversation. And if it makes sense to go down this road, we'll do that. But we're not looking to, there's no agenda to get you to do it. So we're here to serve you.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's why I love what we do.
pretty
It's
awesome
awesome.
stuff.
Yes. Speaking of loving what we do, I love our shows and I love our guests. And every week it's a new opportunity to get to know somebody better, get to know their journey. And I'm excited to have our guest here today. Nick, will you introduce him?
I will, man. We've got a great guest, and today's show is all about finding the magic in your story. So, what if your most awkward moment, your funniest childhood memory, or that nostalgic scene from your past has the power to build your legacy? That's the journey we're diving into today. Our guest, Adam LaRoe, is a gifted writer from Victoria, British Columbia, who traded the stand-up stage for the written page, and it's paid off in a big way. Blending humor with heartfelt insight, his debut book, Remember When, has struck a chord with readers around the world, earning praise from storytelling icons like Jack Canfield and Neil Pasricha.
Yeah, Pasricha, I think.
Yeah.
Close to that.
So through laughter, reflection, and raw honesty, Adam shows us how to turn real life into lasting impact. Let's uncover the art of storytelling with a massive welcome to Adam LaRoe. Did I say that right?
Like 99% close. LaRue, I've heard way worse.
LaRue. Is it LaRue?
If
All
you
right.
be real proper, it would be LaRue, but I never like to say that. That's the French way. I don't do that. So LaRue is.
Here's Adam LaHoe.
Yeah, that would be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the beauty of this show is really what we're striving to do for the viewer is inspiring them through your story, their own growth and their own potential. And I would imagine that there was a time in your life where you felt like you weren't very clear on where you were going or what your pathway was.
Yeah.
And since we're going to be talking a little bit about legacy through the way that you did it here, how did you even discover your gifts? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, man. So really interesting. This all started like with a teenage heartbreak, and that's when I discovered that I really loved writing. I was 17, madly in love with this girl. She dumped me. I was like, oh, and like, couldn't get over it. And then I started writing about it, just like whatever, right? It started off with like poems and like just like poems and stuff, just making stuff rhyme. And then I started making stuff funny. And then I was like, oh, actually, like, I really like writing. And I'm actually like pretty good at it. Like I was like showing my friends and I'm like, oh, dude, this is hilarious. And then things naturally sort of translated from there. I started writing jokes. And I was like a big fan of stand-up comedians when I was growing up. Like my dad introduced me to like Eddie Murphy and who's that crazy?
When you were 8, he's like, check this out.
I was 9.
8 months old.
8 months old,
right?
Yeah. And, Billy Connolly and stuff. So I always had this love for stand-up. And when I was like about in my 20s, I just started thinking about it. I was like, I really, really want to do stand-up. And so I just started writing all the time and like writing jokes and stuff like that. And like when I would hang out with my friends, I would say something and it would make people laugh. And I'd be like, oh, that's good. I'm gonna like keep that. And then when I was like 22, I think 23, my university had this like first ever amateur stand-up competition. And I was like so nervous to go in it, but I was like, I got to do it. Like, here's my opportunity. And I was really humming and hawing and stuff. And my girlfriend at the time was like, look, you either do it or don't do it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I like slayed the competition and I actually like did really, really well. And I won first prize. And from there, it was just like a series of events that like one thing stacked after another that kind of led me to here.
That's awesome. So it kind of a series of events played out that pushed you toward that.
Totally.
Like, I think we get a lot of people that just don't know what their gift is, how they're going to make an impact in the world. And that's the biggest question is how do you even discover it? I mean, what would you say to somebody that's really looking at landing on what their gift is? What would you say to them?
You gotta like, okay, so ask yourself, like, what are you good at? Everybody's good at something, right? And like, what makes you happy? What do you like to do? For some people, it's gardening. For some people, it's writing. For some people, it's like doing like an internet-based business and marketing and stuff, right? But it's like, what is that thing that you love to do that that like makes you feel good when you're doing it? And maybe someone has told you, hey, like you're good at this, right? I feel like it's kind of like that. internal guidance system. Like when you're doing the thing that you love and your natural gifts, like your body kind of knows it, even if in your head, like you might not mentally be ready to acknowledge it yet. But like, hey, this is my gift. I think sometimes it takes a little while for people to like, I don't want to say have the courage to say that, but I feel like it's something that people don't think they should always like tell themselves they're gifted or they have a gift. Like there's this weird mental block that it's like, no, it's not okay to like tell yourself you're really good at something, but like the body knows, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Can we hang here for a minute? Because the body knows,
The body
right?
knows.
So when you have a gift and then you start judging it against what you think society would think,
Yeah.
then your body already knows that's your gift. But then you get this anxiety around sharing it with the world because you're worried about what other people think. So your body also knows that you're in conflict there. You're in dissonance, right?
Totally.
And so we start to ignore because we feel anxiety. We think, oh, maybe it's because of my gift. No, it's because of your measurement against what you think society wants for you.
Exactly. And what other people think you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, I think a lot of us do that is we hold off on stepping into something because we feel that anxiety or we feel that, that adrenaline. But that pathway, when you step into it, there's an alignment that happens. There's a peace that happens with it.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. And that's what I saw in my journey. Like I took all these like steps.
Yeah.
Everyone said I was crazy, right? Everyone was like, what are you doing? You can't do stand up. You can't like do that. And I just took all these like really bold steps with no plan, and boom, boom, boom. Everything fell into line like so perfectly.
Yeah. So and you don't know what the next steps are going to be. So let's talk about that. So we do what's called the journey of uncertainty in our program. And the journey of uncertainty, people tend to not like uncertainty. They want to know what's going to happen, even if it sucks. Just tell me, right? So what we've been able to teach people is that, when nothing is sure, everything is possible. And that's where you're stepping into it anyway. Whether you believe it or not, you don't know what's going to happen five minutes from now.
Totally.
So as you're taking those steps, how did you learn to trust that any step you took was going to be the right step?
It was so much intuition. Honestly, it was like I really learned to stop like thinking so much, and I started feeling. And I was like, how does this feel? Like when I think about doing this thing, how does it actually feel to me? And if it feels okay and it feels natural, even if it's a little scary, if it feels like the right thing, that was usually a really good marker that was the right path to take. And conversely, like when I was thinking about like something else, like if it just didn't feel right, I finally started listening to that. It was like my mid-20s, and my first experience of this was actually like I had to make a choice between taking like this full-time job and that I really didn't want, that was going to impact my ability to do creative stuff, but I needed money, right? And I kept thinking, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I know the smart thing is to take the job, but my feelings were just like so strong. Like, no, like don't do this. Don't do this. It's not for you. And I listened to those feelings, and I never forget that moment because that was a right decision. Despite like a lot of people thinking I was nuts for turning down this like full-time job so I could continue to like do my thing, right? But that was the right decision. And it was that feeling, is that intuition, and it's like listening to yourself. And your intuition is always right. And when you ignore it, you find out you shouldn't have ignored it. And when you follow it, you're like, yeah, that was the right step.
There's a reason it comes up, right? Your intuition. So if we call that the sensations that are generated by your perception, let's just say that before you're even consciously aware of it, it's going to work and determining that there's something there for you. And even if you can't see it, I'll just kind of nerd out of here a little bit. The scientists have shown that up to 10 seconds before you're consciously aware of a thought, you're already having the thought that you're going to have.
Wow.
And so they've been able to measure that. And that means that by the time your body recognizes there's something for you in the environment, up to 10 seconds before you even know it's there, it's already processing it. And for many people, what they do is their body now goes in and starts to find evidence for that from their memories. And so it's scanning everything and then packaging that together. And then it delivers and says, hey, here's this emotion. It's called anxiety. And I already put it all together for you. And you're like, that's awesome, except it's not true.
Wow.
Right. Or that's awesome, but I want to ignore that because that scares me.
Yeah.
And our brains are just so incredibly powerful, and our intuition is so dead on. It's evolved over thousands and thousands of years. but we haven't learned to listen to it. So
Yeah.
we think we have anxiety, we should avoid it. We think we have depression, we should avoid it. But that's not the case. Like sometimes that depression is telling you that you should be doing it because you're misaligned by not doing it, right?
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
I can 100% speak to that. So I would say like what I consider my really big breakthrough with the book is when I got it endorsed by Jack Canfield, and he wrote the foreword to it.
Yeah.
And this was like 2 years ago. The book was kind of like, I don't want to say it was dead in the water, but that's how it felt to me. Like I'd done some really great initial sales. People were loving it. I was like super happy with how it was received, and the feedback I was getting from it was actually like phenomenal, like way more than I ever expected. But then I hit this phase a few years after it came out. It wasn't selling too much. Like a few copies here and there. And I just remember driving down the road one day and just thinking like, I just feel like it's dead. And that was like really like, it was like a flatline moment in my life because I love creativity. It's what I do, right?
Right.
And I kind of stopped thinking about it for a little while. And then a few days later, I got this, I forgot what your question is. I hope I'm still answering it.
I have no idea. I don't remember either.
I saw this thing on Facebook, and it was this
Yeah.
ad for like, it's a Jack Canfield Author Success Retreat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually thought it was a scam. Like it looked like a scam. And I was like, wow, what is this? Like I always used to say, if only I could get my book to Jack Canfield, I know something big could happen with it. I always said that. Here it is. Here's my opportunity. So I look at it. Okay, this doesn't look like a scam. Okay, fine. I'll join the Zoom. Okay, he's there. Okay, this seems pretty legit. Make the phone call. This is pretty legit. But you had to fork up some dough. And, in this day and age, like not everybody has a ton of dough. And it was really, I was like, oh, do I want to pay this money for this opportunity? And I had kind of decided that maybe it wasn't worth it and I wasn't going to do it. And when I made that decision that I wasn't going to do it, I got so depressed. And I was like, not long term, but like for a few days, I was like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was so unhappy because here's this opportunity, like this lifetime opportunity that I've been talking about for years. It's right in front of me. I didn't have to do anything. It came to me and I'm going to miss it. Like, are you kidding me?
Holy cow.
And
Yeah.
icing on the cake on that one is the night I made up my mind to do it, I had this dream. And it was the weirdest dream. I had this dream. I opened my front door. There's a garbage truck going through my neighborhood, and it's just going past my house. And it stops, and the garbage man gets out. He goes, "Hey, the thing you want is right here. You're not going to take it?" And then he gets back in and he drives off. And I don't know what the garbage truck was. That was a pretty clear message. And
how many signs do you need, dude? Right?
I woke up the next day, I signed up, and I just felt amazing. And it's been just like so much positivity ever since.
You answered the question though. So
yeah. Right. What thoughts do you think, as you hear that?
No, we talked about how your body will, your intuition and your body will know. And when it's misaligned and things aren't working and things aren't aligning the way that they should, and I think that's for things you might think are right, and then it's not working out. You take a path and you find out, oh, this isn't working, and this doesn't feel right. It felt right at the moment, and then also gaining a trust for it. Because logically, you probably had a whole bunch of people in your ear saying different things, and and it's hard because you look at those people and maybe they're trusted advisors and things like that in your life, and well, how do I go against what mom or dad or some maybe a coach or something like that is telling me is right for me. But
Totally.
really, you're the one that knows what's right for you, and I love that the garbage truck comes and tells you that you're like what you're doing or not doing is garbage. He stopped short of giving you the middle. He stopped short of giving you the middle finger.
Right. It's beautiful because you're contrasting what we normally think about these heavier emotions like depression, anxiety, and anger, and they're very powerful at getting us to move when we normally wouldn't have moved. And so to move away from something or to move towards something. And in your case, your depression didn't come from making the wrong decision. Well, in a way it did. It was like your body knew that you needed that and you were ignoring it. So it made you feel depressed so that you would get that for you. So it still helped you in the end. And then it gave you a dream in addition to just really anchor this in is, dude, if you're not going to listen to the emotions, I'm going to hit you with a fucking dream, dude. So you're going to hit that. And now we're going to step into it even further. So the body knows, and you have to investigate. And ultimately you made that decision, right? Anything additional you want to share around that as you hear that?
I'm going to share the other, I guess there's multiple icings on this cake.
Yeah.
So, so my grandpa was a huge fan of my book. He absolutely loved the book, and he passed away a few years ago. And like the day before I was going to go do the success retreat, I was very nervous, right? And I was like, oh man, what if he doesn't like my book? What if he thinks it sucks? What if like I just wasted money? And I was like, no one's, it's not going to do anything. I was driving by this house also in my neighborhood, and I just happened to look over. There was this like someone was putting out like they were like garbage day or whatever. It's like putting stuff out of the curb for free. There was this metal knight. It was like a metal knight statue. My grandpa used to have that statue in his living room. And I was like, okay.
Holy cow. That's the sign.
Dude, it was nuts. Yeah. And I was like, okay, the dream, that was nuts, man. And I could just like, I could feel my grandpa telling me like, just go for it. Do it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Just do it. It was
the next step is Jack Canfield knocking on your door.
Yeah.
I guess I should do this.
I just got this nudge, man.
Oh, Jack.
And you're like, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Just slowly shut the door.
So Adam, in our program, so we go from, the growth, we're in the growth journeys here. So we have 6 journeys that are all about the inner world and navigating heavy emotions and things like this. But what we're focused on in this series are the growth journeys and the legacy journey. But we always start in the growth journeys with uncertainty. And then we go to abundance, which is that everything you need is already around you. All the resources, materials, people, opportunities are already here. And that everything around you wasn't in the form it's in right now. Somebody had to transform it. They had to take those raw materials and transform them. And so it wasn't like it just magically appeared because they had the thought. They had to go out and do some work and effort to actually make it what you see today. And with your book and your career, you're surrounded by stuff, but maybe you can't see it. Maybe you're not seeing the opportunities that are there. Maybe you think because of your mindset that those aren't for you, because people will do that too. They'll just say they don't see it because they don't think they're worthy of it or deserving of it. Can you speak to that a little bit? And then we'll go through the other journeys here.
That's really, really interesting you say that, because like that is true. Like, like I've been working really hard to try to like get my message out, get the book out, share it with people and stuff. But sometimes like opportunities like this are amazing. Like I'm really, really grateful to you guys for having me on the show. This is huge.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
You're welcome.
I want more of this. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I know it's out there. And for me, this is like a really big first step to come on and do this with you guys. This is huge. And I'm really hoping that this kind of opens the door to more stuff, because like, I want to do more of this, but definitely you're so right that like, there's a lot of time in my head where I'm like, oh, like, I don't know, this person wouldn't want to interview me, or my product's not right for that person, or like, I'm wasting my time if I'm trying to like, like get on this person's show and stuff. Like they don't care. Like you're totally right. It's definitely a battle. It's like, it's that mental battle. And also knowing that we live in this internet age where it's like, it is unbelievable the resources we have access to. And like, you know what I mean? I'm still working on that. Yeah.
I think that it's very interesting how it took Nick and I getting committed to something and stepping forward and doing our thing to be able to meet Debbie Sluice and then be able to have her on our show and become a friend of the Giants and lots of conversations and lots of connections with her, and you to follow your Jack Canfield, garbage truck dream, and to be able to step forward in that. And now we're aligned here. And I'm guarantee you, as you continue stepping forward and you continue to do, those things and follow those nudges and listen to your inner guidance, that more of those opportunities will come. It takes commitment, and then it takes effort to step forward. And then then the pathway appears as we share in our 12 journeys. It's almost like a faith-based step, and not knowing exactly how it's going to come together, but trusting that, from nothing, no thing that's out there, that the universe has everything that we need to create. And we have a guy that wrote actually on the back of the Giants and the Smalls. It's Richard Paul Evans, and he talks about how chaos is the mind of creation.
Oh, yeah.
We take unorganized everything and we step forward, and boom, it collects. I don't know how it does it. I don't know why it does it, but I know it does it. And things come into your life that wouldn't normally come in had you had not stepped.
It takes that commitment, though. You've got to make the decision first, and then it does. Because if you're in the in-between, it doesn't really know. There's Schrodinger's cat, right? So have you heard of that, Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah.
For the experiment, I'll share it for the viewers here, is the thought experiment that the observer determines whether a cat is both either alive or dead in the box, depending on their observation. And so it exists as both simultaneously. Until the observer observes it as one thing, then it locks in as that thing, either alive or dead in the box, is how the experiment goes. And with our dreams and visions, until we decide that we're going to go for that, then it exists as both created and non-created. And so it really can't lock in. And with, entanglement is we're all connected, and the things we need to create our dreams are connected to it, but they can't lock in until we decide. And that decision is probably the hardest part for most people, because what if I make the wrong decision? What if I cut off everything else and then I'm stuck over here? Well, that's the power of adaptability. And we'll talk about that with surrender, right? If it doesn't go, then decide again. And you know what I mean?
I do. That reminds me of Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
Wayne. I wanted to call him Dwayne. I was like, that's not his name.
Dwayne Dyer is probably a good dude in an alternate universe too.
He's a pro wrestler.
He's a wrestler. That's what I was thinking of. The Rock wrote that book about the. No, but
The Rock. Like The Rock always says.
Yeah. And but he had a quote, and I read it years ago, and I was saying, like, decide what you want to do, and like decide without any like reservation that you're going to do this thing. And like 10 years ago, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. But like you keep deciding, you keep making that decision, and like you keep kind of like putting on that identity, it becomes easier and easier to like embody that. And I've come to a point now, I'm like, no, like this is it. This is happening. This is what I'm doing. But I think like for people out there, it's like that can sometimes take time, right? Like it takes a little bit of time to like shift that mindset. But like if you keep doing it, it's like kind of solidifies.
It does. And Debbie Sluice, who introduced us, talks about vision, which is what I want to talk about now, is the importance of having a vision and having a clear vision. This is the question, because she talks about vision boards and pasting them to the picture board. They have to be glued on, otherwise they're too temporary. So you don't want to tape them. And so, these little steps of getting clear on your vision and anchoring in the vision, what it creates is attachment or fascination. So in our training, we talk about fascination as fixing yourself to it before it's here. And as an example of that, my daughter wanted this silicone doll. It's like this crazy doll is like $300-400. And we didn't have the money for it, but she wanted that doll. She knew she was going to have that doll. She starts preparing a space in her room to receive that doll, like a baby bed, clothes for it. She starts buying this stuff. We don't even have the doll. She's getting that stuff. That's how much anticipation, which means to bring forward before it's time, she had for that baby doll. And it's such a great example because she got that baby doll. And some things happened that allowed us to get that for her. And it came through ways we didn't expect. But her dream and vision of she has this doll, its name is Olive, all this stuff, she got that doll. And she didn't have that doll when she created the vision. And often we talk about, Catherine Lee taught us, you create a memory of things yet to be. Right. So you have a memory, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yes, I love that.
And I've had that with the Giants. Is I've seen stages and audiences filled. I've seen the movie in the theaters, and this hasn't happened yet. Can you speak to that? How important is your vision, and how do you vision
how much time you got?
No,
Okay.
let's go, man.
When I
Got
first,
enough to fill this up.
so when I first learned about this was when I was doing stand up in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and I started off like awesome, show after show after show, just kicking ass. And then I went back to my university because I had like another competition, and I was like the big guy, right? Because I had like won the first one, and like the show had gone so well. And then I remember thinking, I was like, I should end the show now, but I hadn't done my last joke. And my last joke was the same one that I'd ended the first show with. It was like really, really good. And I can't remember exactly what it was. The difference between how men and women check each other out. You know, how women are just kind of like, and guys are like, do you know what I'm saying? It was like
Yeah.
something along those lines. But I screwed up the joke. I screwed up the joke at the last second. And it took all the energy out of the room. And I was like, oh, and I was like, it killed the momentum when I got second place and stuff like that. I
Oh,
remember I ruminated on that for a long time. And then I had another bad show because before that show, I'd been thinking about that other show that hadn't gone well. And then I went on this series of just downhill, like, because every time I was about to go on stage, I thought about that show before that hadn't gone well.
holy cow.
I was carrying the vision of doing a bad show before my next show, and all I was getting was bad shows. And then I met this girl one night. This was crazy. This was like one of the lowest nights of my life. I remember it was like January, like early January. I was down at Kitts Beach by myself. It was like freezing cold. And I'm a musician too, and I had my guitar, and I was just like playing guitar and like whatever. And I had my camera because back then, like, we didn't have iPhones, we had video cameras. And
Yeah.
I had my video camera with me in case I came up with a great joke or a skit and I wanted to like record it properly. This girl walks past and she's like, "Oh, are you shooting a music video?" And I was like, "No." And we just want to talk. And I told her, I was like, "Oh, I'm a comedian, blah, blah, blah." And somehow we started talking. I told her, I'm like, "Yeah, I was just like, I've been on this like downhill dive and things aren't going well." And she was like, "Well, like, let me ask you this. Have you ever done a good show?" I was like, "Yeah, I've done like lots of good shows." And she's like, "Okay, well, the next time you have a show coming up, I want you to only think about those good shows. I want you to like imagine the audience like laughing hysterically. I want you to imagine and vision everything going well and feel it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, well, like, sure, why not?" Right. So I tried it. The next show I did that. I had the best show of my life.
Wow.
I told a joke that I'd wanted to tell for years that I just hadn't, for some reason, I hadn't done it. And it was about when you were like, 17, 16, 17, sneaking down at midnight and trying to log on with a dial-up modem on the
Yeah.
computer, waking your parents up. That was the one, right? And it just, yeah, I blew the roof off this comedy club, and it was unreal. I'd never had a reaction like that. And from then on, I still had like, I had like a couple dud shows, everyone does, but like 99% of them after that was like just like hit after hit. And
Wow.
it's because I started using the visualization, and like that was a huge part. It wasn't just writing the jokes. Part of prepping was visualizing and feeling it.
Wow, that is so cool. Like the idea of visualizing right before you
Yeah.
go in too. So it's fresh. So you go in with the memory of things that went well.
Totally.
And man, I could see this playing out in my life where I've played out all the negative and then it shows up and you're like,
oh, big time.
It's
easy to do with people too.
Right.
Like you have a bad interaction with one person, you're like, oh, this person, and then it's always a negative, right? Can I tell you one more real quick?
No.
That's all we had time for.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap.
Sit here in silence.
Yeah. No, go for
Go
it.
quiet.
Let's hear it.
So when I did that Jack Canfield thing, my mom was like my number one supporter, hands down, and she was so excited for this. We spent about a month before the Canfield thing visualizing how it was going to go. So every night we visualized my thing for 10 minutes. She had some she wanted. We visualized her for 10 minutes. And we did it together. We always set the clock at the same time, do it together. Okay, start, right? Good. And then we would share what we saw. And she kept telling me, she's like, we just kept seeing Jack, like reading the book, laughing, liking it, chuckling to himself, loving it. When Jack came on the screen on the Zoom to talk about his feelings for the book, it was like somebody hit play on the visualizations we had done. It was absolutely unbelievable. It was like parts of it were word for word.
Holy cow.
Including how he started off. Like his first words were like, I love your book. That was it, right? And like, boom, it was crazy. It was like It was
Okay,
like the Twilight Zone in a good way.
that is
You've
cool.
you've written him a script, and you're like going down it as he's talking about it. It's like,
You better say this.
Yeah. Catherine Lee, so she was on Oprah 3
Yeah.
times, and she talks about that same experience that
Yeah.
she would visualize Oprah on the stage, what she was wearing, where she was sitting. She imagined Oprah wearing blue. Oprah never wears blue. She showed up for the show. Oprah's wearing blue.
Wow.
Like it was like she created the script before
Yeah.
there was a script, and they fell into that.
Yeah.
So I imagine that if somebody else is open to the space, that your way of being and imagining, envisioning them could influence their way of showing up. If they're not actively showing up, then they might not non-consciously tune into what you've put out there as a creation and take that on as their identity and think, oh, I'm not being puppeted here. This is actually me, but it's your script. It's like your script fed into their life, even though they have choice in how they show up. That's incredible to me.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was probably that was like that and the comedy one. Those are the 2 biggest ones I've
Yeah.
ever had. And man, I just like, I encourage people all the time, like use visualization because it works.
how many of us we carry those past experiences forward?
Oh yeah.
It's really easy to do. You know, it's you're reminded of it constantly. We're our worst critics. We judge ourselves accordingly. We've been told these things a million times, and so we adopt them as our own. But really, how empowering is it to just be able to know that, what if you could just set that bag down?
Yeah.
You could pick up a different bag. You just
Totally.
I know it's not quite that easy when there's all the things that, that are going on in your world, but it almost is that easy. You could just do something different
I
and
listen to this,
visualize something different.
I listen to this guy on YouTube. And he says, like, start telling a different story. He's like, why are you telling the same story? You keep telling the same story, the same thing's going to happen. He's like, stop it. Start telling a new story. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the journey of surrender here, because when you go into vision, people go into their visions from how they're going to do it and when it's going to happen. And so there's a lot of control put into our dreams. And Jen Walter is one of our guests, and she talked about the hellhole, and we get stuck in that hellhole. I'll only dream as far as I can see how I can do it.
Yeah.
And they're really dreams and visions. You have no idea how you're going to do it, what people are going to be in place. Steve Jobs says that you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only do that looking backwards. So you have to trust that they're going to connect.
Yeah.
And surrender is really about that. I love, who is it that wrote the Surrender Experiment? What's his name?
Why did you have to just say that?
Michael Singer. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So his whole journey on surrender is just trusting that every step he's going to take is going to lead him where he needs to be. And I think when you get tuned into what your gifts are and you really make the decision that you're going to pursue those gifts, then you're going to vision around those gifts. And then also you're going to let go of how it comes about, because you don't get to see the full picture. You don't know who's going to come into your space, or, if you have to have a rigid pathway, you're going to miss the best jokes.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be listening for them, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? How important is surrender?
Yeah.
How do you see surrender?
That's so interesting. This is something I struggled with for a long time. And
I thought you were going to be like, that's exactly how I've surrendered and envisioned you saying this. Sorry.
I listen to Joe Dispenza a lot. He always talks about leaving behind the familiar past and going into the unknown, because the unknown is where all the new stuff comes, right? If you want your life to change, you can't stay in the familiar. You've got to go into the unknown. And I love that. For me, it's like, man, so I work in education, and I was trying to get creative stuff started. I remember like the day before my teacher program started, I was pitching a comedy show to the Comedy Network. And I was like, I really want this to work because I'd rather do this than being a teacher.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, no, it didn't work. Okay, fine. And we'll do all this other stuff. Fine. I'm still working on creativity. Like my timeline is like 20 years ago. Like I wanted to be like super
Right.
years ago.
Yes.
The world doesn't seem to care. It's on its own timeline.
Yeah.
I just kind of like, and man, my life has changed so much in the last 5 years. Like I went from being this guy who was like, kind of like single, like I'm never getting married. I'm never having kids. I'm never moving. I'm never going to leave this job. All of that has changed, man. Like I got
And
married.
then the world's like, hold my beer.
Oh yeah. Right.
I
Right.
got
Well,
this beautiful daughter. I live in a totally different place. Everything's different, right? And I really struggled with that for a long time. Be like, oh, what have I done? Like, oh, everything's gone, right? Like I lost so many friendships, so many connections, blah blah blah. But like in the midst of all that, like I got this book that is now like endorsed by Jack Canfield, and that happened in the midst of all this chaos, right?
yeah.
Like all this unbelievable upheaval and really difficult, challenging times. But as all that stuff was going on, this new stuff was growing out of it, and I never in a million years would have predicted that like that's how things would have unfolded. I wanted a really straight linear path. I wanted
Yeah.
a book. I wanted it to get recognized. I wanted it to sell 10 million copies right away. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, no.
Oh yeah, we know.
We can do all that, but
Oh, yeah, we know.
we'll do all this.
we had our ways of and our thoughts of how it was going to turn out. Yeah.
Yep.
So I just dropped the link to your book here,
Oh,
just so people have it.
Cool.
Do you want them on Amazon? Is that where where you
So
send them, or where do you prefer?
Amazon is the best place right now because unless
Yeah.
you live on the Sunshine Coast, it's in bookstores here.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm still working on trying to get it into like big brick and mortars, but that's I would.
That's a big task. Yeah.
Let's just call it that, a big task.
Yeah.
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 I'm working on it. But yeah, Amazon's the best place right now.
That's how we are right now too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that surrender, that you speak of is you couldn't have seen or foreseen the things that happened or that had to happen for you to be where you are today. And everything that happened was necessary for you to become who you are today. And so you would be a totally different person without that surrender.
It's totally true.
Yeah. And so there's a gift in surrender. It's hard because we want to see what happens next. So we're all trying to predict. The brain's a prediction machine. So it's always scanning and then making predictions. But it tends to, like you said, it tends to predict from our past.
Yeah.
And so it keeps repeating the past. So it's like, oh, this is going to happen again. So it spits that out and that's what shows up. And it's like, see, I told you I'm so smart. Well, you freaking created it, dude.
Yeah.
So when you create, like you said, the Joe Dispenza of you only create in the uncertainty, is you're allowing the past to just drop off. It can be there, but it doesn't get to influence what happens next.
Yeah, exactly.
And your vision was a demonstration of that. When you're visioning, you're actively creating into the uncertainty what you envision. And therefore that became the reality regardless of your past.
Yeah, totally. Yes. You nailed it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Should we finish up? Let's
I think there's more.
I think there's more, but wait, there's more. The next journey in our journeys is nurture. And nurture is all about the care you give to a creation or to yourself. And so there's a couple of kinds of nurture that we look at as self-care. How do you take care of the inner world, which is what our first 6 journeys are about, is about how to heal that inner world and make sure that you're on point to be able to be, I guess, good enough to create what you're creating. The other part is care of the creation. That often we think we have to do big things. How amazing would it be if I got an agent that came in and said, I love your book. I always picture the Christmas Story where he's writing his book report and she's like A+++ all the way around the room. Like that's how I picture my life. And it hasn't gone that way at all. And so that nurture of the small steps lead to the big outcomes. That sometimes if all I can do today is one thing toward my creation, I'm going to do at least one thing toward that creation. Even if it seems like nothing, any positive is a positive. It's a movement upward. And so can you talk about that? Like, how do you see that? How do you do self-care? How do you care for your creations?
Okay, so for self-care, like personally first, like a lot of meditation. I find meditation extremely helpful. I find it
Yeah.
extremely rejuvenating. And also just like, like I try to exercise, I try to like eat right and stuff like that. And I went through periods of my life just being so constantly busy all the time and getting so burned out that
Yeah.
in the last few months I've given myself permission to like do nothing. Like
Yeah.
as a creative person, I love making stuff, but at the same time, you got to balance that out with a burnout, right? And
Yeah.
so, for the first time in a really long time, I've given myself permission to like, I can sit on the couch and do nothing. And if I
Dude.
want to put on Star Wars and watch all of Episode 3, damn it, I'm gonna do it.
which is a huge task to take on Star Wars. I watched it when I had COVID in sequence, in order,
It's like 2
on
days.
shrooms. Like, no, not good, dude.
Jar Jar is the evil one.
I knew it.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah,
Oh,
giving
there's
yourself
some self-disclosure there that'll get me canceled. Right?
giving yourself permission to like to do nothing and to put things down, right? Like I think as humans we're conditioned, especially in like this world of hustle culture. Every time you go on like TikTok or Instagram, they're like, you got to be doing this, right? It's like it's easy to think you should always be on the go. And to
Yeah.
be able to give yourself permission to like sit down, do nothing, nurture yourself, give yourself what you need. If you want to I go to bed at like 8:30, and that is
Mhm.
amazing. Like if I'm in bed by 8:30, that's heaven. 9 o'clock is too late. That's like the new midnight, So just trying to go to bed early.
Bro,
And
you are getting old.
yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
80 inside a 40-year-old's body. Um, and then in terms of like sort of like the creative piece, like how do you nurture that? I think it's like honoring your gift, kind of like what we had talked about
Yeah.
before. It's like, dude, like I do this for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? And like,
Yeah.
and I also know that like the thing I made is making people happy. It's
Mm.
bringing joy to a lot of people. It's not a selfish thing that I wrote this book. This book is actually like a service, like for, I'm just going to say humanity, because I am shocked at who has read this book. This book has been read by kids like as young as 5. I found
Yeah.
out that they had it in a nursing home and they had like 9-year-old people. It became their nightly book reading and they loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, they were getting together and reading chapters. And they were laughing and it was making them feel good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I wrote this thing. I wanted to help make people feel good. And so that was a revelation to me that like I should be like proud of this thing and I should be happy with what it's doing because of how
Yeah.
it's making people feel. And other people can trash it. I don't care. Not everybody's going to be a fan. Other
Yeah.
people can think I promoted too much on my social media. I don't care. It's not for them. I wrote this book for people to feel good, and that's what it's for. And if you don't like it, it's fine. You don't need to like it, but there's a lot of people who do.
You can hear it in your emotion. I can hear your emotion right there, the connection that you have to that, which
Yeah,
is
oh, sorry.
you better can hear it. But the legacy. So our 12th journey is the legacy journey because we feel it threads through everything, right? It threads through your inner world, outer world, your connection. It's the why that, like Simon Sinek talks about the why. When you connect to that, then you are able to push through hard things. And when you have that clear vision of what your gift is and what you're bringing to the world, you'll overcome obstacles to make that a reality. And there are obstacles. I have 1-star reviews on the Giants and the Smalls. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, this book's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't want that for anybody.
Yeah.
So that legacy, when we talk about legacy, it's the gift that you're giving to the world. Steve Chandler, who was on our show, that dude, if you want to follow just an incredible mindset, Steve Chandler is the godfather of coaching. But he came on and he says, why would you wait until you're dead to leave an impact?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're on a timer and there's like, I'll wait. And then when you're dead, it all takes off. And then you're making that impact. He's like, do a living impact. Like the ripple that you want to make in the world. I'd love to hear about the ripple you want to make in the world, the positive impact you want to make in the world, and why that's so important for you. What is it, and where did it come from, and why?
Yeah. Okay, so like a big thing of what I want to do, and like this ties into like I still work as a teacher and stuff like that. Like I really want to encourage people to live extraordinary lives and like embrace their gifts and use them in service to humanity because we all have gifts, right? Why do we have those gifts? We have those gifts for a reason. Those gifts should be shared, and everybody has a gift. And I think there's so many people who go through life never questioning like, hey, like what is my gift? Or like, what could I do? Like, what do I actually like really want to do? I wanna kind of inspire people to think about like really creating the life of their dreams. Like
Mm.
what is it that I love to do? What can I do? Like I just there's so many people who work like a job they hate, and you do that your whole life, and then you get old and you get sick and you die. Like it's not really a life to me, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, my whole thing is just inspiring people to like go after the life that they truly want and that they know like on their highest level is truly the life that they could be living in and that they really, really want for themselves when they scale everything back.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You can tell it comes out in your way of being. So you can tell with some people they want to do what's trendy, and then you see the ones that it's no, that's oozing out of them. That's who they are at their core. And it affects everything that you touch. It affects all of your relationships. It affects the success of your business. It affects your visions. All of that comes through because like Carl Jung talks about, everything in your outer world is a shadow of what's going on in your inner world. He talks about the cave, and so our outer worlds are a shadow of who we think we are. And if we can really anchor into who we are, and you don't have to find your gift to do that. You just start stepping and things appear that help you to see that gift. So it's not about knowing everything clearly when you go into it. Yeah. Intuitively, like she says, is internally who you are, why you want to do that, what you want to create from that. And then everything becomes a reflection of that in the outer world. Right.
Totally.
What does that bring up for you? What other thoughts come up as you hear that?
You know what? I read the comment that that person posted,
Yeah.
and I just thought about what you said. I remember, like, so this was back early on the journey of writing. I remember one night I was, I don't know if I was in college yet or not. I was working on a laptop late at night, and I was like doing like some kind of assignment or something. I remember just thinking like, what do I really want to do with my life? And I looked down at my hands typing, and the way that the laptop screen was like on, like my room was dark, laptop screen was on. It was just this brilliant white light shining on my hands. And I was like, I want to be a writer. And it was this deep intuitive knowing. And it was just like, but again, it was that visual symbol. And I was just like, oh dude, that is crazy. And that moment has stuck with me. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was
You'd
fun.
never know that this was your first interview, dude.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It helps to have a good interviewer.
Yeah. Really.
Just messing.
You're
Tell
the
me about
best.
yourself.
Yeah.
So you've written a book.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it, man. I'm going to grab your book too.
Oh,
So
right on, man. Thank you.
yeah, it's we love this because everybody has a journey. And when you slow down and really look at what you've overcome to be where you are today, for a lot of us, it's a lot. We've had to navigate a lot. And one thing I've learned through my own journey is that all of my creations have come from hard times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And even jokes, the beauty of humor is that comedians are often the most depressed people.
Yeah.
And they speak truth, and we all laugh, and we're like, it's like the dictator, the scene where he says, you are HIV Aladdin, and he starts laughing. He's all, oh, and then he gets sad. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I know
They changed all the words for positive and negative to Aladdin.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you are HIV Aladdin. And he's like, and then he's sad, and that's sometimes how it looks, is like you go through these ups and downs.
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah, totally. In fact, sometimes this sounds weird, but sometimes when my life is going really well, I'm like, God, I kinda wish I was like going through something really hard right now, because that's when I really create. I'm like, what to think, but it's like, dude, that is so true. Like when I was like single and like living in Vancouver and stuff, it would be like relationship, heartbreak, massive creative success, or like creative inspiration, relationship, heartbreak. It was like this crazy pattern. And my biggest breakthroughs and inspirations almost always came in the in-between, when you were like at like a low point.
Yeah. And you're processing it, right? And comedians, I mean, when they speak the truth, it's like, firsthand how hard life can be, but you're able to speak it in a way that people relate to, and they laugh about it.
Yeah.
but it's truth. Like in most cases, you're speaking the truth, and people laugh because it's true.
I remember being on stage, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even part of the joke. I would just say something. I was like, went to Costco the other day. They got big boxes there, and people are like, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, that's not even like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not even funny. Dude.
No. And like, it was happening to me, like, you would just say something, and people would
Yeah,
back up. And you're like, well, that's not even part of the joke, but like, just because it's true, you know what I mean?
it's truth. Yeah.
It's funny, and it's like such a weird thing.
So, Ryan, as you've listened through, what's really stuck out for you through this whole thing?
First of all, I just try to make life for Nick really, really tough, so he keeps creating, and I think it's so I'm going to take credit for all of his creations. I just keep making
Yeah,
his life miserable.
beautiful thing, right?
You're welcome, Nick.
You're welcome. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah. No, it is interesting how that happens. There's peaks and valleys in life. Um, there's gold in that. When you go through a growth period and you stretch, and then you come back down a little bit and realize, oh, you look up, and we call Steve Hardison says mountains without tops. You keep going. Were you asking me, Hugh, or were you?
No, yeah. My jokes are too dark, dude.
Yeah.
I go for the dark jokes.
Yeah, this could be bad.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to share. No way.
But here's what I see, and from what I feel from you, Adam, is that you're giving people permission to play and to see life in a different way, to view the reality of things, and also be able to laugh and at themselves, and be able to find humor and joy in life, and be able to see really who they are and what they can do in their world. And it does it. I mean, oozes sounds really weird and gross, like you've got some sort of like
Radiates? How about
yeah.
radiates?
Hey, yeah,
There we go. That's a little better. A little less creepy.
Yeah, sounds like you got open wounds or something like
Yeah,
that.
that dude is pussing
Oozing.
unbelievable amounts of comedy out of him.
He pusses a lot. We puss and cuss on this show.
Yes.
But I appreciate the impact that you're having in the world. It's no coincidence and no accident that Jack Canfield did write that, and that you had those promptings and the garbage truck vision and the night statue. There's uh, things that we cannot see that are helping to guide you as you step forward, and we've talked about this a little bit lately, and I wholeheartedly believe it. So again, yeah, you wouldn't know that this is your first interview, but you're committed to do more and more and more, and um, we wish you the best of luck as you continue to go forward. You've got a friend in the Giants,
Awesome.
and you can send us all of the jokes. We take them all, the chicken that crossed the road all the way to the dark humor. You just send them on over. We'll probably laugh at all of them. So
I found the best way to kill a joke is to ask questions about it. You're like,
what kind of road was it?
What? Yeah, what was he wearing?
What
Why
was
would
the
he wear
bar's
that?
name?
That's do you have a go-to joke?
Okay, so I will give the brief one. I won't tell the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was fine. If you're not on stage, like whenever my students would find out I used to do comedy, they'd be like, "Tell us a joke." I'm like, it doesn't land the same, and I can't say the F word.
I have the build up.
It's like Nemo. There, he's a clownfish. I thought clownfish were funny. He's not funny at all.
You got to build them up so they laugh at Costco big boxes.
One of my jokes that always landed well, and it's in the book, was just about like when you were a kid and you didn't know the meaning of certain words, right? And so like when I was a kid, I remember I always watched the news, and they would come on, and the news reporter would be like, "There was another fire in the warehouse district last night. Police believe it was started by arson." And I thought arson was a person. Like, well, why didn't they just arrest him?
Like, gosh damn it, catch that guy.
Yeah, like you know who it is. Like just
He's
arrest
everywhere.
him, right? Yeah. And then I'll tell this one from my mom, and hopefully it translates.
Yeah.
I remember watching. I was like 10 years old watching Beverly Hills 90210, And I remember it was like a big deal when the people in that show found out someone was a virgin. And I was like 10 years old. I was like, oh shoot, I hope I'm not a virgin. And so I went to my mom, right? And I was like, Mom, I got to ask you, what's a virgin? And she was like, not ready for this question. She's like, oh, that's someone who's never slept with someone before. And I was like, oh, sweet. Okay, good. So the next day I'm at school telling people I'm not a virgin because I've slept with both my parents. Just like,
They're like,
teachers calling DCFS.
yeah,
That's funny.
like, those jokes always killed on stage. I didn't actually think the virgin one was that funny, but people loved it, and it just like people cracked up. So I just kept telling it, and those are like two of my first ones that I always went to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
we're sick enough in the head that we probably there's a 50-50 shot we would have just stared at you like blankly, gone quiet.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
What?
Would have been awesome.
I don't get it.
Just dead silence.
Yeah, that's
Is that
the
what
worst.
Canadians do?
Yeah, that's how we do it here. Just
While they're eating ketchup chips.
yeah,
and wearing
ketchup
toques.
chips and
Yeah.
yeah,
With their toques on?
yeah.
So, Adam, if there was one thing you wanted to share with the person across from you on the screen right now, because there are real people right now listening that maybe we didn't cover in the show, what would you want to say to them?
Go to Amazon and buy my book. Just kidding.
Hey, there's the link.
Here's the link. No, like I would say that like life can be so hard, and it's really important to find those things that you find happiness from. And I think if you know what those things are, you should really try to build more of that into your life, and you should try to nurture yourself with that, because you are so valuable and so important, and how you feel is also so important, and you deserve to be happy.
Oh, I love that. So go create it. Allow it in.
Yeah.
Go play more.
Totally.
Yeah, man, timing is amazing. I wrote about that this week of the play, the importance of play. And I tend to not. I tend to get really serious in life. And so I've got to, weird as it sounds, schedule in play. Yeah. Otherwise I won't do it. I just won't do it. Yeah. So, man, we appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, man, thank you guys. It was so fun.
Yeah, phenomenal wisdom that
We've
you
got
shared.
Canadians watching, so
yeah,
I just saw that. It's awesome.
Hey, so yeah, for everybody that's watching, thank you for being a part of this. Remember to go subscribe on YouTube. That helps everybody here because it gets us more. It allows us to expand the account. So when you subscribe, not only do you get notified when we go live every single dang time, but it helps us to grow and get more followers, which allows us to do more. So go follow on YouTube, comment, share, like. If you know somebody in your world that could benefit from this conversation today, share it with them and tell them why. And then send them the link for it. So you can find it on YouTube. All of our episodes are there. We have over 330 interviews, over, you were saying 800 uploads to YouTube. I should probably calm that down a little bit, right? That's a lot. But there's a ton of information there. Make sure you go over to my12journeys.com, where that's our hub where you can see everything. So this video will also be on there on our hub today, and share that with your friends and family. And if you're a coach or a therapist and you're looking for a platform to share with your clients of valuable resources to help them go even deeper into their journeys, reach out to us, have a conversation with us. Let us show you what's possible through the 12 journeys for your clients. And so, Ryan, anything else today?
No, I was thoroughly amused. This is a great interview. Adam, you're a great human being, and we appreciate you on the show for sure.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. It was awesome.
You're welcome. For those that are watching, go make it a giant day, and we will see you in the next video.
Love you too.